Hello, and welcome back to our next week of summer school. So, this week is kind of a busy week as you have a couple things that are due. On Tuesday, you are going to have your rough draft of your research essay due. You're going to do it like you have for the previous ones where you're going to get those peer reviewed, where you are going to take the link, make sure that others can comment on it, and then you're going to post that in the discussion post by 5 p.m. on Tuesday. You just have to finish up your conclusion paragraph for that, and then you should be good to go. By Wednesday, all the peer reviews are going to be due. You only need to peer review one other person this time, so you have about 24 hours to do that. And then on Friday, your final draft is going to be due, so please just make sure that you are taking the time to finish up those things as we wrap up this week. I also want to note that next week we are going to start our self-selected novel essay, and you do need to have the book finished by then. So if you haven't finished it or are almost there, make sure that you take the time to do that this week. What I'm going to show you in this next video is how to structure your conclusion paragraph and then also how to make sure that Work Cited is good to go. If you have any questions, please just make sure that you send me a message and I will get back to them as soon as possible. All right, so just as a reminder, this week you guys have your conclusion paragraph. I'm going to review that here in a second. You have your full essay due for the peer review tomorrow, July 14th. Your peer review is due July 15th, and then your final essay is going to be due July 17th. If you're looking ahead at next week, we are going to work on our self-selected literary analysis, so you need to have that book finished and ready to go. So let me jump over to this research paper. This link can be found under this week's week breakdown. So you have your research essay breakdown, which is going to be right here. So as for the conclusion paragraph, you are going to restate your thesis. So this is where you reword your thesis statement from up above. Think of it as paraphrasing your own words anyway. Then you are going to do wrap-up information. So I put this in red because this is the most important thing to note. You should never include new or any type of information that you have not mentioned prior to this in your conclusion paragraph. But this is where you wrap up any of the ideas that you've previously mentioned in your body paragraphs. So think about it as a way of going over the topics that you previously mentioned. The last thing is your drop the mic comment. I also kind of call this the reverse hook. So sometimes I encourage students to think about what they put in their hook statement and trying to maybe paraphrase that or reword that. But basically you want to leave your reader thinking about your essay and make sure, again, it's no new information. So you're not including a new fact, you're just kind of making a point about everything they've read in this essay up to this point. I also want to briefly talk about the Work Cited. So here are the two sources that I use for my essay. As you can tell, I don't have them indented, I don't have them double spaced, but I just want to show you guys how to do that. So when you're looking at your essay like this, you highlight your two citations. So they can be highlighted together, and that's fine because I'm going to show you what happens. You're going to take this little bar right here, see how it's kind of a triangle and a rectangle, and then you're going to drag them both to 0.5. Then you're going to just select the rectangle and then drag it back in like that. So that way the first part of it is indented and the rest is, the first part is not indented and the rest is. I'm not done yet though. I do need to make sure that I double space this by hitting this little button with the arrows kind of going in two different directions and just hit double spaced. So it looks like this. I should have probably also included the works cited part in it. So now it looks like this. Just make sure that you do this step as it is important for overall formatting and just overall appearance. I did note on a couple of your essays that if you want to make sure that your entire essay is the same font. So when I click here, it says Times New Roman. But if I click right here, up here it says Arial. So in order to make sure that the font is all the same, if you hit Command A, it highlights your entire essay. So everything on this document. And you're going to notice right here, there's no specific font highlighted. So I just need to click this and then hit Times New Roman, and it will change every single font on here for me so that I don't have to go through and do that myself. You can also make sure that the font size is 12 so that it reads like this, so that it's pretty consistent across the board and you don't have to worry about going through and tediously changing anything yourself. Okay? Okay, for this last part, I just want to review the rubric for how you will be graded on this essay. So we'll start with the overall appearance over here. So you can earn 5 points for just having the correct heading, the running header, a creative title, and your MLA format. So that's consistent throughout the entire essay for font, size, and spacing. Next, we have your introduction paragraph. So you need to have your hook, your content needs to be there, and then your thesis statement is worth 3 points. Next, we'll move on to the body paragraphs, which are all going to be the same. So 5 points for the topic and transition sentences, 5 points for quotes, 3 quotes and or paraphrases. So meaning you need at least 3 points of information. So whether it's 3 or 2 quotes and 1 paraphrasing, it doesn't matter as long as it totals to 3. You need to have at least 1 of each, so you don't just have 3 quotations and 3 paraphrases. It's maybe 2 quotes and 1 paraphrase, etc. You have 5 points for your in-text citations, which is parenthetical documentation, and then 5 points for grammar and spelling. So if there's anything like comma misplacement or anything like that, it will get taken out. So that's consistent for all your body paragraphs, so that's where those points are earned. For your conclusion paragraph, you earn 2 points for your transition and your topic sentences, 5 points for your content, and then 3 points for grammar and spelling in that section. As for the works cited, it should be alphabetized in MLA format, at least 2 sources that meet the requirements, and all sources in this essay present in the works cited and vice versa. So that just means that you don't have a source randomly up in your essay that's not cited in the works cited and something that's in the works cited that's not in the overall essay. And then you get 10 points total for peer review. So as long as you completed your peer reviews and or turned in your document correctly so that others could peer review it, you will get the 10 points automatically. And that's it. So if you have questions about how to break down this rubric, please let me know. But that's it.